Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome along to Rogue River Valley. Now this is a map that's currently in with Giants for testing. It is by Poorboy Modding. Now Poorboy is responsible for 4 other maps which are currently on ModHub. Piney Run, Wilhelmina 22, Bear Rock Logging and Hickory Valley. So this will be his 5th map that he has had released on the in-game ModHub. Now it is a 2x2 map, or a 1x map, 2 kilometers squared, and is intended to be for PC and console. So I'm excited to take a bit of a first look at this. Not the sort of map I'd normally play on, although I do have a fascination with logging, and there is plenty of that on the map once we go and have a look at it. But Poorboy reached out to me and asked if I'd take a look at it, and he has a bit of a cult following. I've followed his progress on Facebook and the maps he's been working on, and he certainly does have a very cult following there, which has grown and has surprised him too. I mentioned that to him, and he said it's a little bit weird, but a bit of a surprise that his maps have been as popular as they have, but none of them have a rating less than 4.1 on the in-game mod hub, so I think that is testament to what he does, and he brings some unique features to the map which we'll go in and have a look at. So we'll dive into the PDA. I'll explain some of the areas to you. We'll have a look at the starter farm, which is right down here in front of us. Where we're standing right now is where you start out when you first load into the map. So we'll take a look at the starter farm, equipment and things like that, and we'll go take a little bit of a look around, particularly focusing on productions, because Poorboy brings some fascinating takes on productions and has added some interesting features into that. So we'll go and look at that as well in just a minute, but let's dive into the PDA and have a look. So the first thing that's going to catch your eye is the big divide in the map. The brown forest areas take up probably 2/3 of the map, at least that, maybe even 3/4 when you look at how much green area there is up there, and is the farmland. You can see our little icon there flashing right on the edge, just below field number 11. So field number 11 is indeed the highest number, so there is only 11 pre-made fields here. All very rectangular, so fantastic for console players using the hired help. Makes things a lot easier. You don't have any tricky little areas or anything like that to worry about. So the premise is really we've got the river going through the middle. I'm assuming that would be Rogue River. You can see the train there also going through the middle. The train's pretty cool. I like the feature there, and we'll go take a look at that in just a little bit. But obviously all the forestry in the back and the small little habitated area up here in the top left corner with the farmlands and the towns. Now you can see very populated here with a number of different production points. And go take a look at these because you'll see them. Used tires, wash plant, tar production, empty pallet production. So some interesting features there as well. Now just taking a look at the land you start out with on new farmer mode. We've got field number 46 here. That's 41.87 acres and has a value of $440,000. And you also get field number 35, just under 16 acres, 15.93, value of $167,000. Obviously varied sizes all around. I think 53 is probably the smallest at under half an acre, only $4,500. Beautiful little starter plot out there. And you can see all around 1.8 acres down there, and everything else is buyable. So if we have a look up here in the forestry areas, plot number 10 for example up there, almost $700,000, but it is 63.5 acres. So there are some smaller areas. I'm not sure if you can log much in there around the river, but some of these you can get in here and buy, and make a start with some logging if you wanted to. Lots of trees, so lots of value on these plots of land, which you can, through a little bit of effort, can realise that value and probably pay off the land pretty quickly. Just taking a look here in the commodities list, you can see even for canola there we have 4 different sell points of different types, and we're just going to scroll down here because as well as all the base game productions and materials and everything like that, you can start to see we're getting into some newer ones. Compost, soybean straw, alfalfa, hay, rye, black bean, onion, and then into some really unique ones which come with the productions. Asphalt, tyres, coal, dirt, gravel, sand, clay, iron ore, crude oil, stream pay, kerosene, tar, gold bars, metal, empty pallet, asphalt pallet, and then these ones here. I think a lot of these all come with the DLC with the Platinum Edition there. So lots of different things that Poorboy has added into that through using productions, which is awesome to see for console users, to have the experience of being able to sell something a little bit different. I know people have often asked about mining and gold bars and things like that. Well, it looks like you might have the chance to do a little bit of that. Not terraforming or anything like that mining, but I think there might be some pay dirt you can go and dig up and run through a wash plant. So that's our pretty quick look at the PDA and the overall view of the map. Now we're just going to go for a little bit of fly around. That seemed to be quite popular from our UMRV map tour, having a little bit of a look from above before diving down into some of the features in a little bit more detail. So like I said, we are here. We'll walk off the cliff and magically start flying. So we're here, and if we just spin around, You will see all the expanse of forests. We've got the river there heading through the valley down below us, and the steeper terrain all heading up away off into the distance, and then obviously the map border and everything like that further up in the top. But as we just keep on spinning around here a little bit, down here in front of us is the starter farm. We'll go and take a look at the sheds and the equipment that you do have down there. And then a pretty orderly little town area with the fields all scattered throughout. So you can see those square rectangular fields, nice straight edges, nice easy shapes to work with in and around the town areas here. So you can see different production points. Looks like a biogas plant down there in front of us. We've got the church, and these are all stretched out along these couple of roads. A fuel station down there, fire station, and all sorts of different things. So a lot of recognizable base game mods and everything in there. Nothing complicated about this map at all, but it is very efficient in what it does, and it is beautiful how it gives you some different features. Spin around there, quite a big production over there on the end, but everything is very well condensed down in here in this part of the map. Pretty easy to get around and not too far to go to find anything. So we've moved down here to the starter farm and thought we'd take a quick look around the sheds and everything there. Very simple in its layout, but I like that. Everything is very accessible, lots of space around, and very nice and tidy. Very well suited. Like Poorboy has said, he is a console gamer as well. He likes tinkering here with his map making and things like that, but he is a console gamer at heart, so he certainly has console gamers' best interests in mind when he's building his maps. So as you'll see, well landscaped and very nice looking, but just a little bit simple with the detailing and finishing, which is probably good to try and keep those slot counts and things like that down. We'll just take a look here at some of the equipment. So starting out there, we've got the Massey Ferguson tractor with the front loader on there. We've got a mower over this side. Lots of tractors here on the starter farm. Looks like a 7810 John Deere, as well as the smaller Fendt, all with front loaders as well. Lots of various attachments there, bale spike, pallet fork, bucket over there as well. Got some hay equipment, go with the mower. There's a windrower, a tedder, baler, and a pickup wagon. Got another John Deere in here, the 4755, and then a couple of seeders, or a seeder and a planter as well, so you can go and get some crops into the ground. So lots there in that shed, and that is only the start of the equipment. We'll go over and have a look over here in the other side, and also in the other shed just over here, because there is still more hiding away in there. But lovely landscape as you look around, very nice. It does look to make use of the Holtzbaileron, or Erlengrat, sorry, makes use of the Erlengrat borders, map borders, which were very nicely done, so good to see that sitting in here, and does give you a sense of enclosure in here. Coming in, we've got a corn header there on the left. We've got the Deutz-Fahr top liner with the grain header on the back, sprayer over there in the corner, couple of trailers. Obviously got the flat deck trailer, flatbed trailer there for bales and things like that, as well as the tipper trailer there for your crops. Decent sized cultivator and rather good sized lime and fertilizer spreader, and another tractor, Valtra, sitting in here as well. So I think that takes our grand total so far to 5 tractors, with not much farmland to deal with. It is pretty well appointed there. And then we'll just head on over here. You can see the Mack there sitting in through the shed. Get that opened up. Got the super liner there with a nice big trailer on the back. Animal transporter as well. So there's animal pens around that you can use. So again, good collection of equipment in there. Another nice shed, lots of storage space. Then I think if we just sprint over into this little storage shed in here, and we've got a pickup hiding in here as we do. There we go. The old school 1970s style pickup with the trailer and a John Deere Gator on the back. So plenty of equipment, plenty of material, plenty of vehicles for you to start out with. So having a look here in the animals tab, you can see we've got a cow pasture, chicken pasture, cow barn, a sheep barn, a pigsty, and a horse pasture. So all your animals are already covered off in here, so you don't have to go and add any of those kind of things. Obviously you can if you want to expand and grow. There's plenty of flat level open space to be able to do that. Got the sheep barn over here. We will just run around. We're not going to go and find them all, but it looks like there's another shed over this way. We're going to check out what this one is. In fact, this looks like it could actually just be a hay barn or something like that. Nice open-sided hay barn. Not even a animal pen or anything over here, but definitely nice, good space and storage in there. And I like the style of the sheds here with the exposed trusses. That was common throughout, and I like how all the sheds link into each other. Very nice indeed. So we're flying over here. This is the main pasture that you have. Say that is probably a cow pasture down there below. You can see what looks like the grazed area. A big fence through the middle of it, but you do have access in there, so you could mow the grass if you wanted to, if you didn't have animals, wanted to make some silage or hay or something like that. We've got our big arable field here. Obviously you start off owning the largest arable field on the map, but there is scope there if you want to expand that as well. So it wouldn't take very long, I don't think, to be able to farm all of the arable land that's down here. And we'll go and have a look and see if there's any sort of flat areas up in the forest that could be cleared and turned into some arable land as well if you wanted to expand that. But certainly, while there's a small aspect of farming in here, probably only enough to support your animals, the main focus is definitely the forestry and the productions. Just taking a look on the map, horses and the cow pasture over here. We looked, or didn't see the chickens, they were hiding behind the farmhouse. We went past the sheep barn, we had a look at the cow barn, and then we've got the pigs up here. Further over here there's the livestock market as well. So everything's all pretty handy and convenient to get to. So we're heading up the river here. You can just get a real sense for the amount of forestry. Pretty well connected actually. There's some good roads you can see there on the mini-map up to our left. Bridge here, trains going through the middle. We've got a whole lot of different networks and roads that go around there. Now you can just see, and we'll go and have a look at that in just a second, you can see the dirt there, the view distance thing, but you can see we've got some dirt down in here. So already preloaded dirt, you can come in here and dig that. Now I'm not sure exactly what that's going to give us. We might have to go and get a vehicle and come and give it a go and see what fill type we get out of that, whether it's something we can take into the productions. But we will go through all the productions and have a look at those very, very soon. But nice little train tracks that weave through and follow the river the whole way through here and then wrap their way back around the map. But some lovely views, very, very nice. I like it through here, looks very good. And just to expand on the scale of forestry in here, I don't know how many trees there is. It's obviously within the console tree limit, but there is thousands of them. We had a bit of a landing there on the right. I don't think you're going to find any additional area in here to build any pastures or form any new pastures. I think this is pretty steep and rugged hill terrain, well suited to using yarders and things like that. So if you have the Platinum DLC and access to that, that would be a whole lot of fun getting in here and doing some yarding. You could even do it across the valley. You could stick a cable that goes the whole way across and run the yarder back and forth. Of course, if you don't have the Platinum DLC, perfect time to plug it, going and purchasing that through the Giants store and using the code Argsy Gaming. You can also do the same if you are planning to buy the Season 2 pass, which is can't be too far away from having our first reveal of that, of the first drop of DLC. So perfect time to go in there and pick up both of those if you don't have one or the other. And if you do, thank you very much for supporting the channel and hope you are enjoying them. It's coming down out of the forest here, and we're just a little bit around the corner from the town, right here on the edge of the water. And we've actually got a little bit of a stunt course, or a little bit of a driving obstacle course. We've got some old cars parked here, got some ramps using containers and that sort of thing. So a bit of a monster truck type arena, which is pretty cool to see. You can have some fun here on a multiplayer server, or even just on your own, running around trying to jump cars and drive up and over them. But clever use of the bleachers and the stands here out of the base game baseball stadiums. We've obviously got a bit of a sell point down here as well. You can see the trigger for that right there in front of us. So we're going to head back down this way into the town and go and take a look at some of the productions. You can see the train tracks that were just heading back up the river, and you can see where they run right here along the edge of the map through the edge of the town. So we're going to take a look at that as well before we finish. But for now, we're going to go and have a look at all the different productions and how those all link into each other, and what some of the unique custom options that Poorboy has included in this map. So just starting out having a look at the production chains, we've gone in and purchased all the land and everything, so we can just take a look at all the different options in here. We're starting out here with the Rogue River biofuels. Lots of different options for materials you can put into this, and they are only simple materials to give you quite a complicated output at the end. So you can see 100 litres of grass will actually output quite a bit of all the different materials, including diesel and diesel exhaust fluid, as you can see there. Methane, digestate, diesel exhaust fluid, and kerosene being our main outputs. Of course, the electricity is used in other ways. So you can see all the different options for putting things in there, including wood chips, coal, crude oil, and onions, some of the custom crops and fill types that are added into the map. We've got Rogue River Sawmill, wood boards, wood beams, and planks as outputs, and we've got two main inputs there. You can see wood and coal, so both of those, depending on which one you want to activate, all use the same inputs and give you the different outputs. Three main productions as well as wood chips. There's also a drying station. You can put the materials in there, so we've got the planks, wood beams, and planks which can go in, and all three just give different types of dry boards. Dry boards 1, dry boards 2, and dry boards 3 as outputs. Likewise, the empty pallet production there, you can see different inputs. Again, the wood chips, wood beams, planks, and planks can both all go in there and produce some empty pallets. Moving on, we've got crude oil production. So sand in and crude oil out. So we're going to have a look at where we can buy some sand or find some sand on the map. Wash plant, there you can see we've got stream pay, which is probably the dirt that was up there in the stream. And then we've got a use for the methane, as well as some coal. So the methane you could get out of the biogas plant, and the coal, we'll have a look at that. But I do believe you can buy the coal or load the coal through the train and deliver it. And then obviously we've got the gold nuggets, which comes from stream pay and coal, giving the gold nuggets out. Steel factory takes the iron ore, which is obviously from the Platinum DLC with the added requirement to add coal, which is something new. We've got an asphalt plant. Asphalt plant requires tar, gravel, sand, and methane as inputs. Now tar, where do we get that from? Tar comes from tyres. So there is a used tyre store where you can go and buy the tyres. Obviously you can get the kerosene from the biogas plant, and the output there will be tar. So there's a really well thought out and well connected different set of productions in here to add some new features or some unique options. Otherwise, what else do we have? We've got the furniture, a lot of the base game products in there, or the DLC products I should say. You can take your gold nuggets or gold dust and some coal and convert it to gold bars as well. And then we've got a feed production down the bottom here. So different options for putting in to get different products out. So silage, and we would get silage and compost out. If you put alfalfa silage in, again you get silage and compost out. You can make your cow feed using grass, black beans, and sunflowers. So there's a use for the black beans, an additional crop on the map. And then your pig food uses corn, barley, soybeans, and onions. And for that you'll get the pig food and the compost as outputs. Looking for used tyres to get your tar made, come down here to the Bronson Tyre Centre. Head around the back and you'll see that there's a load point or a fill trigger right there where you can go in and get a trailer or something like that loaded up with tyres to take on down to the tar factory. So once you've come down from the tyre shop, which is down there on the other side of the water tower, head on down here to the tar factory. You can see we've got a dump trigger there for dumping your used tyres into, and then that will be converted into tar here in the factory and through some specially modded trailers which are included with the map. You can head on there into the fill point, the yellow and black markers on the ground, and load up with your tar. Let's head on down to the asphalt plant. So just a little bit further down the road, here is the asphalt plant, and around here on the right hand side there is another dump trigger where you can take your tar into, and that will help with the production of asphalt. Spawn point for the asphalt is on the left hand side of the building. More interested in trying to make some gold here on Rogue River Valley, head on down here to the gold wash plant or the dirt wash plant. A dump trigger here in front of us you can tip your soil and dirt into. We had the loading trigger around the back, that's to take your sand and other byproducts out. And then over here you can see we've already got some gold. We've fast forwarded some time just to get some of the productions to generate. I'm going to have a look at these pallets. You can see there's 1,000 litres of gold already here in the jars, and you can now take that on down to be smelted into some gold bars. And you're made to work to get the gold bars made. We're up here, this is the gold bar factory, a little bit of a drive out of town, a little bit secretive and secluded. You just head on down here, go and have a look. You can see we've already got some gold being made here in the boxes. So you can take that on down now, get it sold and earn some money. The crude oil, which is needed to make some kerosene and diesel through the biogas plant, is right here up in the top of the map past the gold plant. And you can come up here, use one of the specially modded trailers to get some crude oil taken out of here and head on down to town to get that converted into kerosene and diesel. And you can see from up here the crude oil down there below us, right at the bottom of the screen, and right there at the top of the screen in the corner is the main town and where we've been for quite a bit of the tour so far. So just taking a look here, this is the sawmill in front of us, so you've got that functionality there. We've got the drying room over beyond, and we're just going to spin around. This is over in the top end of the town, so you can look back over there past the starter farm and over towards the water tower and church where a lot of the other productions are. So some of these features located up here in this corner. We're going to head back over here. We've got a train rental point just down at the little shed there on the end of the fence. We're going to go and jump on the train and take that for a drive around the map. We'll go for a ride around the map in that and have a look at a couple of things you can do with the train. So nothing special about the train. We will just go down to the back because there is one thing to have a look at. Right down the very back, you can see instead of the flatbeds that are on the base game trains, we've actually got some fuel tanks or storage tanks. We'll take a look at what we can do with those as we go for a ride around. We're going to jump in the train, we're going to time-lapse a little trip around the map, and then we'll stop at a couple of points just to discuss what it is we need to do there. We just thought I'd stop here at the stream pay, or the stream dirt. You can see there's a very handy storage ramp or ramp there that you could use to load into the train here. So you could actually get the stream dirt, take that down into town here using the train without having to haul trucks back and forth. I'm not sure on the capacity of these carriages. It was either 80 or 110,000 in previous experience, so I'm assuming it is going to be very close to that once again. We're just going to carry on. There's one other spot just up here around the corner that we're just going to stop at and take a look. But really enjoyed this little trip around here in the train. Some sharp corners, which might make it a little bit jerky in the time lapse, but very picturesque and actually quite a nice looking area of the map. But here we're just coming up into this, which is a buy point here for the train. A little bit of a funny one, it's just coming out of the wall, but we're just going to try and pull the train up, get the brakes stopped. And we're going to stop there on the back on the tanks. So we'll just pull forward a little bit. And there we go. We've got options here to buy lots of different liquids. Herbicide, water, crude oil, liquid fertilizer, and herbicide. So different options there for that. If we just back up a little bit more. Pretty sure all these are the same, indeed. And then if we go and have a look at this one, this is where we can get our coal, sand, iron ore, gravel from. So a bit of a buy station, you don't have to mine everything, and in fact I'm not actually sure, I haven't found some coal yet. I'm not sure if there's coal on the map or not, in terms of somewhere you can go and pick it up and load it from, or whether that's the only place you can get it. And just like that, we're back here where we started from, back at this platform, another loading ramp there you could use. There's a couple of other things around. There was the furniture shop I think we went past, and a couple of other loading points on the map as well. I think there was another water fill point just over in town that we could have used as well. But there we go, that is our tour of the train and some of the features that the train can bring. Now I'm just going to go have another little bit of a look around, see if we can find anything that might provide coal or other options to go and load up out of different areas rather than just buying it on the train. Well, we've had a look around the whole map, and it took me to coming back right here to the starter farm. We head up this little road here, not too far. Up the side, we've got a mine, and we've brought the side-by-side up here because we wanted to have a look at what you can get here from the mine. We'll just jump down and hop into it. Hop into the fill trigger where we are, and you can see we've got the options to purchase iron ore, tar dirt, gravel, asphalt, sand, and dirt, and stones, back to the coal, and clay, and iron ore again. So plenty of different options for things you can purchase there as well. So you can come up here to the mine, it's not too far away at all from where you start off and down in town. You don't have to traverse all the way up into the forests. I kind of wish you did actually, made it just a little bit harder, but there you go, that is an option there to come up and get that, so nice to see as well. Well, with that I think we've covered off the main points here on Rogue River Valley. Huge thank you to Poorboy Modding for sharing the map with me and allowing you to bring this early access look at the map. It is currently in with Giants for testing. It is expected it might fail on something. It's very rare that a map will go through first time, so it might be a little bit longer before it is released, but hopefully not too far away from being able to be downloaded for your PC and your consoles. Lots of awesome features, really blown away actually by the different production chains and different things that have been added into it, and how that's all accessible to console players, because I know that is one bugbear, and I think Poorboy Modding's done a fantastic job. I know he's implemented some of that in some of his other maps as well, but I just think it's quite neat how that is all working out and how everything all goes together, so very well done, very impressed. Like I said at the start, not really the sort of map I might play on, but having had a look around it, it's almost tempting to if I could fit it in with everything else we're doing here on the channel. So keep an eye out, we'll see where we end up. But if it's one you're going to enjoy, I hope that you have a lot of fun playing on it, because it really is quite a fun little map to tour around and have a look at. So I hope you've enjoyed that map tour. As always, thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you go along and give Poorboy Modding a follow on Facebook. I've left a link to his account down there in the description, so go and jump on there, give him a like, and share with him what you think is your favourite feature of this map and what you're most looking forward to playing on it. So thank you again all very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next one.